The American Midwestern town, Raccoon City, has been completely decimated due to the T-virus outbreak that was instigated by the international corporation Umbrella. Claire Redfield, who arrived in Raccoon City to search for her lost brother Chris, and a rookie police officer, Leon S. Kennedy, managed to escape from the city, but their ordeal was only a prelude of things to come. 3 months later, Claire is in a prison cell. Your identification number is WKD4496. Welcome to your new home. Claire's hit with a rifle butt and knocked out. Narrator. Her name is Claire Redfield. We caught her trespassing in our Paris lab facility 10 days ago. She apparently infiltrated the complex looking for her lost brother, Chris, one of the surviving members of RPD's famous STARS teams. A flashback of Claire somehow outrunning a helicopter firing miniguns in the aforementioned Paris lab plays. She ends up in a room full of guards. She pulls an Arya Stark and drops her gun, only to grab it before it hits the ground and fire some shots at conveniently placed exploding barrels. Another guard comes up behind her, and they point their guns at each other. Don't move! Flash forward back to the cell. The sounds of bombs can be heard. The lights flicker and the roof shakes. Claire stands at the door to the cell where she hears footsteps. Rodrigo walks into frame, clearly injured. Claire flicks her lighter on to get a better look. Rodrigo opens her cell door and takes a seat. He looks pensively at a small bottle, then throws it to the ground. Perfect. Go on. Get out of here. This place is finished. I don't know. It might have been a special forces team. But in any case, this prison has been taken over. The troops have been wiped out. What are you saying? You are free to leave the complex, but you may as well know you have no chance of getting off this island. And what about you? What are you going to do? Don't worry about me. Claire leaves and quickly runs into zombies emerging from a flaming vehicle. Zombies emerge from graves all around her, and she hastily escapes. She runs into a watchtower and is immediately shot at by a mounted machine gun. She finds a pistol on the ground and returns fire. Wait, don't shoot. Who are you? Huh? You're not a zombie? Oh, great. Wait right there, I'm coming over. Steve comes down from the tower. Sorry about that little misunderstanding, but I thought you were another one of them monsters. Shut up. Make one wrong move and I'll shoot. Relax, beautiful. I said I was sorry. My name's Steve. I was a prisoner on the island, and I'm guessing you're not from Umbrella either. No, I'm Claire. Claire Redfield. Claire, nice. I'll remember that. Hey, I heard there's an airport around here. Once I find it, I can finally escape from this crazy island. Anyway, I'll see ya. Steve waves and starts to run away. Hey, wait up! Steve turns around and shakes his finger at Claire like an asshole. I don't want you following me, lady. You'll only slow me down. Steve runs through a door. Claire starts to explore the island. The view switches to Steve typing on a computer. Chris Redfield. Claire walks into the room. What are you doing here? Chris Redfield, is he a relative of yours or something? You mean my brother? Ah, your siblings. Well, it seems your brother is under surveillance by Umbrella. What? I've got to contact Leon and tell my brother that he's being monitored. It's a good thing I have access to an outside connection from here. Well, that file shows the latitude and longitude of this place. Heh. Why don't you send your brother the coordinates and ask him to come help? Thanks, I'll do that. Hey, I was just kidding. There's no way he could get here, even if he's your brother. Yes, he can, I'm sure of it. No way. You'll just end up disappointed if you rely on others. Believe me, I know. Steve stomps out of the room. What was that all about? Claire continues to explore, contending with zombies and dogs. Eventually, she stumbles upon a home video of 2 children pulling the wings of a butterfly and feeding the body to ants. There is a slightly incestuous vibe to the whole thing that creeps everybody out. Claire gets back to exploring. As she's about to walk through a door, she hears Steve scream, help me! Steve? Claire releases Steve from a room he got locked in. That was close, but I found something. Thanks to you. Looks cool, huh? Steve shows off a pair of golden Luger pistols. Oh, I need those. Give them to me. You've got to be kidding. I found it and I'm keeping it. Fine, let's make a deal. I'll trade you for something fully automatic. Claire contemplates how anyone can be so annoying. See you around, Claire. Adios. Steve sprints out of the room. Hey, wait, Steve. Claire walks out a door and is shot at by a man with a sniper rifle. Redfield, how dare you interfere with my operation? What are you talking about? You let yourself be captured so you could lead your people to this base. I have no idea what you're babbling about. You don't fool me. I'm Alfred Ashford, commander of this base. Oh, you must be one of Umbrella's lower-level officers if you're in command of a backwater base like this one. Alfred shoots his gun into the air. How dare you? The Ashford family is among the world's first and finest. My grandfather is one of the original founders of Umbrella, Inc. Now tell me, why have you attacked this installation? Attacked? Shortly after you arrived, my base was attacked. You must have informed your people of its location. I still don't follow you. I really don't know anything about that. Unacceptable. How can you deny it? My base has been destroyed, and thanks to you, the experimental T-virus was released, creating countless zombies and monsters. Tell me, who do you work for? Who sent you? Alfred shoots at the column Claire is using for cover. Have it your way, then. Just a rat in a cage anyway. I'll be sure to keep you entertained before I dispose of you. Alfred walks away, laughing maniacally. Claire once again returns to exploring the island. She's attacked by a giant worm, but manages to run away before it does any serious damage. She eventually stumbles upon some kind of military training facility. Inside, she comes upon a blaring alarm, and witnesses a researcher pounding on a window. I can't get the door open. Some kind of monster slams the researcher against the window, killing him instantly. Claire retreats. An alarm sounds. Biohazard contamination detected. Level 3. Emergency shutters will close. All personnel evacuate immediately. Claire sprints down some stairs and does a weird slide under a shutter, barely escaping. Phew, that was close. Claire is ambushed by Alfred again, who completely misses his shots. She proceeds to chase after him, and then gets caught in his obvious trap. Ha 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 ha. Welcome, Claire. Consider the area you're in a special playground I have prepared just for you. Please try to keep me amused and do not disappoint me by dying too soon. I so want to enjoy this. Claire finds a pair of machine guns, but is confronted by a monster known as a Bandersnatch in the same room. After defeating it, she leaves the room and is ambushed once again by another Bandersnatch. Oh no! Steve magically appears. He jumps out of a window in slow motion before emptying the golden Lugers into the creature. He thinks he's pretty cool. Oh yeah, that felt good. Don't worry, Claire, your knight in shining armor is here. You wish, but thanks for the help. See, this is why you need me. I got your back. Whatever. Here, take these. Claire holds out the pair of submachine guns she recently acquired. Machine guns for me? You know the deal, in exchange for your Lugers. Okay, okay. This thing is too cool, yeah. Now this is my kind of weapon. Steve stupidly tries to shoot them at a nearby wall. Alright, huh? Hey. Claire laughs at him. This thing's empty, you cheated me. Up there, plenty of ammo just for you. Claire points at a roof of a nearby cargo container. Way up there? Give me a boost and I'll get it for you. Alright, alright. Claire steps on Steve's back. Ow, my back! You're heavier than you look. Hurry up. Claire hands him the ammo. Happy now? Turns out the cargo area they were standing on was also a giant elevator, which starts to move. Whoa, 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 what? Now that your knight has made his appearance, he can join you in your descent into death. The elevator stops. Okay, let's do it. Wait here, Claire. Steve cocks back his guns. Time to test out my new toys. Steve laughs and runs out of the room. At this point, Steve takes over as the role of protagonist and playable character for a brief spell. After Steve's section is done, Claire catches up with him. Hey, Claire, I managed to clear a path for you. It should be safe now. Well, what do you think of my work? You see, this thing is a lot more reliable than any person. Steve poses with his guns. Then people? Steve starts to walk away. Steve, what were you doing here? Who brought you here, and where is your family? Shut up! I don't want to talk about it! Steve shoots his guns at the wall in a fit of rage. Steve. Never mind, let's get going. Claire and Steve both fall through a crumbling balcony. Claire's foot is caught in the rubble. She tries to pull it out. Claire, are you okay? Steve, behind you! Steve turns and sees a zombie. He appears to be in shock. No! The zombie gets up and walks towards Steve. What's wrong, Steve? Shoot him! Wait, I can't! No! Steve! The zombie turns towards a trapped Claire. No! At the last possible second, Steve turns and dramatically empties both clips of his gun into the zombie. Father! Steve continues to pull the trigger on the empty guns. All you hear are clicks. Steve? Steve falls to his knees. Father. Father. Dad. Used to work for Umbrella. Tried to steal information, intending to sell it off to the highest bidder. He was caught, Mom was killed, and we were sent here. Oh, Steve. He was a fool to do something so reckless, so stupid. Claire puts a hand on his shoulder. It's okay now, just rest. Claire gets back to exploring. She finds some hemostatic medicine and decides to give it to Rodrigo. As she walks back to the prison, Rodrigo points his gun at her. What are you doing here? Claire puts the medicine on the table. Hemostatic medicine? How kind of you, thanks. Claire is using a lighter to see in the dark room. She puts it on the table. Here, let me help you with that. Thanks, but I can take care of myself. Just go. The camera focuses in on the lighter. Keep it. It was a gift from my brother, but... Thanks. Here, let me give you this in return. You might need it later on. Rodrigo hands Claire a lockpick. Now go. Don't worry about me. Claire leaves and stumbles upon another visitor to the island by the name of Wesker. Greetings! You must be the lovely Claire Redfield. Who are you? Let's just say I'm a ghost, coming back to haunt your dear brother. Wesker? It seems there's not much explaining to do, is there? I was the one who attacked this island. Who'd have thought you'd be hanging about? Ha ha ha! All the better for me, now that the cat dragged in this nice surprise. Your ever-so-caring brother, he'll definitely show up. I must thank you for being such good bait. I don't know what went on between you two, but you have him all wrong. My brother is not the kind of person you think he is. Wesker grabs Claire by the throat. I despise Chris. What are you going to do to him? Wesker slaps Claire to the ground and steps on her shoulder. Oh, your brother will weep to see you die. Beep, 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 beep. A radio beeps. What? What is it? Alright, stay there. I'm coming. Wesker hits Claire with a roundhouse kick as she starts to stand up. It appears you may be of some further use to me. I'm going to let you live a little longer. Wesker's eyes glow red before he leaps 20 feet into the air and over a wall. Claire goes on to solve some insane puzzles while fighting off zombies and BOWs. She makes her way to the Ashford Manor, where she overhears a conversation between Alfred and Alexia. Keep focused, brother. Our enemy is only a little girl. Why is this taking so long? My apologies, Alexia, but I've been doing my best. The revival of the Ashford family depends on your success, brother. I'm aware of that, Alexia. I will revive the family name myself and make you the master of the glorious Ashford family. Do not worry, brother. I will handle them both myself. Who is there? Is there somebody in the corridor? Alexia looks out the window while Claire runs away. What is it, Alexia? Nothing, I believe. I must have been imagining things. Let us go, brother. Claire stumbles upon a creepy-ass note from Alfred, where he discusses his love for his sister. It's pretty bad. Soon after, Alexia confronts Claire after popping out of a hidden passageway. Claire Redfield, hold it right there! We meet each other at last. A pity I must say goodbye so soon. I am Alexia Ashford. For the pride of the Ashford family, I will kill you! Alexia shoots her rifle from literally 5 feet away, and somehow misses. Wait! Alexia reloads as Steve opens the door. What's going on? Alexia wings Steve. Steve shoots Alexia as he falls to the ground. Steve! Alexia runs back through the previously secret passageway. A secret door! After her! Are you okay? I'm fine, it's just a scratch. Steve and Claire chase after Alexia. They end up in her room. Claire spots a suspicious wig. This must be... Alfred attacks the pair from above. Steve kicks him into a dresser. Alfred looks into the mirror of the dresser, seemingly horrified by his own reflection. What? No, Alfred runs out of the room. No one attempts to follow him. Wait a second, what just happened? So there never was an Alexia after all. You mean he thinks he's 2 people? Okay, that's it. Let's get out of here. An alarm starts to sound. The self-destruction system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. That freak! He's trying to blow us up along with the entire facility. Come on, we've got to get to the airport. Right. The scene transitions to the front of the Ashford estate. Claire! Planes are flying overhead. Those must be the remaining survivors. We'd better get out of here too. Right, let's go. Claire and Steve reach a plane. Steve gets into the pilot's seat and slams his hand on the controls. No, we can't take off unless we raise that bridge. Leave that to me. You stay here and make preparations for takeoff. Claire runs out of the plane. The scene transitions to Alfred, or possibly Alexia, or both, at a computer terminal. Their voice is more like Alexia, but I think it's Alfred. I will not allow you to escape. This is what you get for trying to oppose me. Now feel my revenge. They giggle and push a button, unleashing a tyrant. Claire raises the bridge, but gets chased by the tyrant. She defeats it and makes her way back to the plane. What took so long? I was starting to get worried. No time to explain. Let's go. Right. We're out of time here. Time to say goodbye to this death trap. Steve somehow manages to take off. We made it! Yahoo! Oh, it's finally over. Claire, I'm sorry. I know I caused a lot of trouble for you. I'm sorry. Claire, I'm sorry. I know I caused a lot of trouble for you. No, it's okay. It was hard for both of us. Well, I really hope you find your brother. I know what it's like to be alone. Oh, Steve. So where should we go now? I can take you anywhere you want to go, Claire. Ha 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 ha. I hear Hawaii's nice this time of year. You got it. Claire and Steve both laugh haughtily. The scene transitions back to the Rockford Island. Alfred is shown boarding a jet fighter. The game is not over yet. Now you will see what real terror is all about. The scene transitions back to Steve and Claire. Something hits the plane. Hey, what the? The cargo room hatch is open. I'll go back and check it out. Thanks, I've unlocked the cargo room door. Claire is confronted by the tyrant in the back of the plane. Claire manages to hold the tyrant off long enough for the plane's cargo catapult to charge. With it, she knocks the monster out of the plane and into the night sky. What was wrong? Oh, nothing. Just a giant cockroach that had to be stepped on. The plane suddenly starts to turn. What's happening? I don't know. The plane just changed direction on its own. It's flying in autopilot mode. I can't switch over to manual control. Alfred and Alexia appear on the screen. My apologies, but I cannot let you escape now. Alfred, you cross-dressing freak. Time passes. Steve and Claire are sitting on the floor of the plane. Claire is asleep, leaning on Steve's shoulder. Steve moves in for a kiss. Luckily, Claire wakes up before he can complete his sexual assault. Steve gets up and looks out of the cockpit window. Hey, where are we? Huh? Latitude 82.17 degrees? Claire also gets up and looks out the cockpit window. That's That's the Antarctic. We're over the Antarctic. What? Claire and Steve sit down in the pilot chairs. Hey, are those the seaplanes that left right before us? Then that must mean this place belongs to Umbrella. The plane crash lands into the facility. Claire wakes up after the crash. Hey, wake up! Steve, wake up! Claire shakes Steve awake. We're still alive? Steve kicks the plane door open and jumps down. He attempts to catch Claire as she jumps down, and creates some awkward sexual tension. The music is suddenly romantic for a second, even though it seems like Claire is more annoyed than aroused. She stands up, and reaches her hand towards Steve to pull him up. Thanks. Steve gets up without her help, because he's an asshole. Oh, the plane crashed. Let's split up and find another way off this oversized freezer. Right. Okay, let's do it. Steve runs into the facility. After he leaves, Claire starts to explore. She finds a monster trapped in a room with an axe pinning it to the wall. She leaves it alone. She escapes some monster bugs and then finds Steve at the controls for some mining equipment. Claire, it looks like there's an Australian observation base about 7 miles from here. That should be our target. Then if we can break through with that mining vehicle, we might have a chance. Okay, let's do it. Steve operates the crane carrying the mining vehicle. Claire watches the crane while Steve slowly stares at Claire's ass. He quickly forgets what he's supposed to be doing. Steve, watch out! Steve slams the crane into a gas pipe, rupturing the pipe. No, it's toxic gas! Come on! Claire pulls Steve away from the controls through the nearest door. It's all my fault. Don't say that. Listen to me. We'll escape from here together. Come on, we've got to shut off the gas. If we split up, we might have a better chance of stopping it. Okay. Steve, don't forget. We'll get out of here. Together. Claire finds a gas mask and a valve handle to shut off the toxic chemicals. After she finishes twisting the valve, she takes her mask off. Ah, we're safe now. Alfred comes through a door. Think again, Claire. I shall enjoy watching you shriek in agony. Steve kicks open another door. Not this time. You again? They fire at each other. Steve does some flippy dippies and gets close enough to shoot Alfred point blank. He falls over a railing. Soon after, a monstrous roar can be heard throughout the facility. What was that? The scene switches to the monster Claire found previously pinned to the wall. The monster breaks free of its confinement. When we come back, Steve and Claire are in the mining vehicle. Are you ready? I'm just gonna bust through that wall. Go for it. Steve manages to push the drilling vehicle through the wall and out to the outside. They both exit the vehicle. Right. Claire, maybe we can escape through here. Steve points at a ladder to a helipad. Come on, let's go. Steve and Claire climb the ladder. Okay, let's go. Claire stops short, seeing a monster through the blizzard on the path ahead. Come on, let's go. Are you scared? Claire backs away, while Steve finally notices the monster and readies his guns. Move it! The monster bitch slaps Steve right off the side of the helipad. He manages to hang on the ledge. No, Steve! Hold on, and I'll wait for that monster and come back. Claire, forget about me. Run! Claire fights the monster. Its name is Nosferatu. I've got you now. She defeats the creature with a sniper shot to the chest and quickly runs back to Steve. Steve, are you all right? Steve looks up at Claire. Claire, you're alive! Claire pulls Steve up. I'm sorry I failed you. Don't worry about it. Let's go. I swear I'll protect you next time, Claire. Claire and Steve walk down some stairs near the helipad. We did it. We're finally out. Look, there's a snowmobile over there. Claire and Steve get into the snowmobile, which is more like a truck on tracks than what you would think of as a snowmobile. Perfect. We'll be able to ride this right over to the Australian base. Yeah, let's go. The scene pans down to the facility, showing Alfred limping down a hallway. I won't forget about this, Claire. Alfred opens a door to a room with a giant test tube. Someone is inside it. Alexia. At the sound of Alfred's voice, the tube begins to drain. Alexia, you're finally awake, Alexia! Alfred draws his last breath. A giant tentacle shoots out of the roof of the building. What's that? The giant tentacle wraps around the snow truck and tosses it through the air with Steve and Claire still in it. Their fate's uncertain. We go back to the newly awakened Alexia, slowly stroking Alfred's dead head. Interlude. In the meantime, on an isolated island, Chris Redfield... This is Chris speaking. Following up on a lead given to me by Leon had brought me here. Chris is shown climbing a steep cliff with no climbing equipment. He slips and drops the bag with all his stuff, because nothing can ever be easy. Don't worry, Claire, I'm coming to save you. Chris walks into the prison when a monster yells and caves the entrance in behind him. He finds Rodrigo. I didn't expect to find another living person on this island. Who are you? I came here for a certain girl. A girl? Have you seen anyone named Claire Redfield? Did you say Claire? You know who she is, don't you? Don't worry about her. I helped her escape. Several planes took off from this island not long ago. While I can't say for certain, she was probably on one of them. I see. I guess my sister owes you. Thanks for helping. Everyone's gone. I may be the only other person left. Go on, follow your sister and get off this island. The giant worm that harassed Claire earlier then attacks, swallowing Rodrigo and attacking Chris. Chris makes short work of it. As the worm dies, it spits Rodrigo out. Chris runs up and holds Rodrigo in his arms. Hold on, don't give up. Looks like I can meet my family again. Here, take this. Rodrigo hands Chris the lighter Claire gave him earlier. What? She gave me this as a token of thanks for saving her. I won't need it anymore. Take it. Rodrigo dies in Chris's arms. Chris explores the island, but stops when he hears singing. On a monitor, he sees Alexia holding Alfred's dead body. Alexia is singing a song. There was a friendly but naive king who wed a very nasty queen. Who is that? The king was loved, but the queen was feared. The scene changes to show Wesker at a control panel. Alexia? No, she's already fully awake. Wesker notices Chris on another monitor. Chris, oh little fishy, come see my hook. Chris, I'm sending some company to keep you entertained. Wesker opens a pod containing a creature called a hunter. Consider this a small welcoming gift from me. Enjoy. Wesker laughs maniacally. Ah ha 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 ha! Chris proceeds further inland. He battles multiple hunters, set up as traps. Eventually, Wesker catches up to him. Long time no see, Chris. Wesker? Still alive? Wesker laughs. Ha ha ha. What are you doing here? I came for Alexia. Who? An organization hired me to capture her. Wait, you attacked this island? And my sister? Chris raises his gun to shoot. Wesker tackles Chris with superhuman speed, sending him flying. He adjusts his super cool sunglasses and picks up Chris by the throat. You have no idea how much I hate you. You destroy my plans, so now I've sold my soul to a new organization. Now die. Chris punches Wesker, knocking his glasses off and revealing cat-like mutated eyes. Here's a little secret, Chris. I figured out that your sister is now in the Antarctic with Alexia. It's too bad you won't be seeing her again. Ah ha ha ha! Wesker laughs as he's about to finish Chris off. Suddenly, Alexia appears on a monitor, laughing herself, one-upping Wesker's shitty laugh. Alexia? Wesker throws Chris, who hits and breaks a human-sized test tube. Chris is grasping for air when a Bandersnatch suddenly appears. Chris takes it down and makes his way towards the hangar, where he finds a fighter jet. Hold on, Claire, I'll save you. Chris pilots the jet and leaves the island. He deftly lands the plane in the Antarctic facility and begins his search for Claire. In one room, he stumbles upon Alfred's body, where he learns about the Nosferatu monster, and how Alexia ended up in that test tube. Nosferatu was their father, and they experimented on him with a virus that transformed him. After their failure, Alexia had another idea. She hypothesized she'd need to sleep for 15 years in order to maintain control of the virus and not become a monster herself. They proceeded with this plan, and Alfred had watched over her ever since. Chris finds Nosferatu on a hook, bathed in ice. Who could have done this? Alexia appears across the room, laughing. This is how I dispose of insignificant bugs, said the spider to the fly. How do you wish to die? Suddenly, a giant spider jumps from the frozen water and attacks. Chris kills it quickly and moves on. He finds Claire trapped in a wad of mucus on a wall. He cuts her down. Claire! Claire wakes up. Chris! They share a brief hug. I missed you so much. I know, but we have to get out of here. No, we have to find Steve. Who's Steve? He's a boy who escaped from the island with me, but then a monster attacked us and we got separated. So that means Steve is still somewhere in this base? I'm sure of it. Alexia appears, laughing once again. Ha ha ha! It's Alexia! Alexia? So there really is an Alexia? It's almost time for you genetically inferior siblings. Alexia laughs and walks away. I'm sorry. It's almost time. It's almost time you genetically inferior siblings. Okay. After her. She might know where Steve is. Let's go. Chris and Claire run up the stairs after Alexia. A tentacle bursts out of the wall and slams the stairs, separating them. Claire gets up to check on Chris below. Chris! Steve is heard screaming from somewhere in the facility. No! Just go, I'll be fine. But Chris... You've got to save Steve. Go! Claire rushes to find Steve. She finds him locked in the same room the Nosferatu was, with an axe pinning him to the wall. Steve? Claire? Claire tries to take off the axe, blocking his escape. Though it really looks like he could have wiggled out if he tried. No, I can't do it. Who did this to you? That crazy woman told me that she was going to perform the same experiment on me that she did on her own father. She's completely insane. Steve appears to be in pain, clutching his chest. What's wrong? Steve pushes Claire away. Claire, I can't breathe. Claire, help me, Claire. Steve mutates into a new version of the Nosferatu. He grabs the axe that had been pinning him to the wall to use as a weapon. Steve! No, wait! Steve stands up and begins to chase Claire. He takes a swing with his axe as Claire slides under a closing gate. Claire catches her breath as Steve vainly hacks at the metal bars. Alexia's tentacle suddenly bursts through a wall and smacks Claire before gripping her like a snake. Steve finally busts through the metal bars and winds up to chop Claire's head off. The blade stops inches away from her neck. Steve, with a monstrous voice, Claire! Claire turns her head towards the Steve monster, who shifted his swing to cut Alexia's tentacle off. The rest of the tentacle slams Steve into a wall, where he starts to transform back into a human. Claire walks over to him. Oh, Steve! Claire drops to her knees and holds Steve's hand. He picks up her hand and puts it against his cheek. Steve is dying. You're warm. Steve, you've got to hang in there, okay? My brother's come to save us. We're getting out of here. Your brother kept his promise? I'm sorry, I cannot. What? What are you saying? I'm glad I met you. I love you, Claire. Steve dies. Steve? 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 Claire shakes Steve's body and weeps. This scene switches to Chris hiding behind a pillar in the main foyer of the building. Foyer, whatever. Alexia is laughing at the top of the stairs. At last, I found you, Alexia. Come with me, says Wesker. Alexia laughs. Ha 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 ha. You're responsible for the creation of the Code Veronica virus, and now the only existing sample is in your body. I want it now. You want it? You are not worthy of its power. Alexia walks down the stairs and transforms into a weird monster version of herself. She slaps Wesker, who makes a superhuman recovery and dodges the next attack. You're coming with me. Alexia begins throwing Hadokens at Wesker, who dodges them in slow motion while running on the walls. It's basically the Matrix. One of the fireballs is thrown towards the pillar Chris was hiding behind, forcing him to come out. Chris! Wesker! Alexia hits Wesker's arm with a fireball. Wesker puts the fire out and turns towards Chris. Chris, since you're one of my best men, I'll let you handle this. Wesker runs out the front door. Chris runs for the stairs while Alexia is distracted, but she turns around and lights the stairs on fire. A fight ensues. Chris takes Alexia out and runs. As he's running, he hears Claire crying behind a closed door. Claire, is that you, Claire? Chris? No, the door won't open. Hey, is Steve with you? Steve, he... Claire cries for a few seconds, while Chris stares pensively at the door. Listen, Claire, we have to get out of here immediately. Can you unlock the door from the inside? No, I can't. Chris tries to break down the door. He's not quite as muscular as he is in Resident Evil 5. Chris, there should be a self-destruct system somewhere. If you activate it, all the electronic locks might be deactivated. Claire slides a security file under the door. The scene switches to show Alexia awakening after her battle with Chris. Meanwhile, Chris runs all around the place to secure a keycard for the self-destruct system. He finally activates it. Alarm. This facility will detonate in 5 minutes. All doors are now unlocked. Chris and Claire reunite. You made it! Of course. Come on, let's get out of here. A tentacle bursts out of the floor underneath the pair. Alexia is birthed from the tentacle's mouth, which is really weird. What are we gonna do? Chris looks around the room and finds a conveniently placed weapon called a linear launcher. That should do the trick. Okay, turn the key clockwise simultaneously on 3. Got it. 1, 2, 3. Chris and Claire turn the keys at the same time that open the door to the launcher. An alarm rings. Initiating energy injection. Warning, the safety bar will not be released until charging is complete. Alexia gets up and begins to walk towards them. I'll keep her busy. Just go for the emergency elevator. Chris, but... I can take care of this. Just go. You have to make it. Don't die on me. Claire escapes while Chris battles Alexia. After pumping a ton of ammo into her, the linear launcher finally charges. Chris destroys Alexia in a flash of blue energy. The place starts to explode. Chris begins to escape, but runs into Wesker, who has taken Claire hostage. Chris! Move! Wesker takes Claire into another room. Claire, no! Chris chases them until they reach a submarine deck. Chris! Well done, Chris. It turns out that Alexia's work wasn't much of anything, so now the only thing left is revenge. Let her go. You don't want her. Fine. Wesker pushes Claire towards Chris. Claire! Today's a good day. I came for Alexia, but killing you is even better. Sorry to disappoint you, but Alexia is gone. That's no longer a concern to me. I have Steve to work with. What? Steve? In his body, there's still a little T. Alexia virus. Steve should be a good specimen. Maybe he'll come back alive just as I did, and be able to see your sister again. You freak. Claire runs at Wesker, but Chris grabs her arm. Don't you dare touch him. I'm sorry, dear heart, but my men have already taken him away. Get out of here, Claire. But what about... As a surviving member of STARS, I have to finish this. Okay, remember your promise. Claire exits stage right. I'll end this once and for all. Say hello to my comrades who you've killed. I don't know where you get your confidence, Chris. Wesker drops his glasses and saunters up to Chris, who hits him with a steel pipe. Wesker just shrugs it off and kicks Chris across the room. The scene switches to Claire. An alarm rings. The self-destruct system has been activated. All personnel evacuate immediately. Claire runs up to the plane Chris flew in on. The building shakes as she turns back, wondering how Chris is faring. Back in the battle, Chris gets punched by Wesker repeatedly, with a kick and a neck choke thrown in for good measure. Sure, I'm not human anymore, but look at the power I've gained. Wesker hits Chris with a slow-motion uppercut. While he's lying on the floor, Chris spots some steel beams dangling above. Magnificent, don't you think? Wesker goes for a jump punch. Chris dodges it at the last second and hits the controls holding the steel beams. They crash onto Wesker. Chris leans against the wall for a moment, but the steel beams soon begin to move. Wesker rises, and both men walk towards each other. Nice try, Wesker. An explosion occurs, knocking down a large pipe that lands between them. Wesker's face gets burned. Today's your lucky day. Next time we meet, don't count on another. Next time. Until we meet again. Wesker evil laughs a lot. Chris makes a run for it. Chris, where are you? Chris jumps out an exploding elevator and directly on top of the plane. Chris! Hey, you know I keep my promises. Claire chuckles as the plane takes off. Chris, promise me. Please promise me you won't leave me alone again. I'm sorry, Claire, but it's not over yet. There's something we've got to do. You mean? Yeah, it's payback time. We've got to destroy Umbrella. Now let's finish this once and for all. The jet flies towards the camera as the facility explodes in the background. It's a happy ending for everybody, unless your name is Steve.